which good on him. That's fine. And that was
Actors aren't allowed to have opinions, Anna. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. And that was a very different era. That was a very different era from David Tennant's era. He was in for 3 seasons, I think. And his era was very different from Matt Smith's era. He was in for 3 seasons. 2 seasons? 3 seasons. I think. And then that was very different from Capaldi's era. And I was like, everyone I was like, oh, this is my favorite. This is my favorite Doctor. I love him the most. And then the next one would be come in and it would be like, oh no. But I love him the most. And then, because I pirated it all in high school, I caught up live my freshman year of college. And then only watched half of the next season. Because apparently I get way attached to shows way better if I can binge them than if I lose the thread every week and have to wait. So I only watched half of the 9th season, and then like a year later I came back and finished it. And then I tried to watch the 10th and it was just bad. And then it just got worse. So.
That was the new season's not something you enjoy.
Well, when they switched from Capaldi to Jodie Whittaker, they also switched directors. They switched directors a couple times during the series, but the biggest, baddest switch was like Capaldi's last season had Chris Chibnall, I think he directed already. Before that, it was Russell T Davies and fucking what's his name? I don't know his name. He played fucking what's the name of the guy he played? Oh,
Doctor Who.
No, played Mycroft. He played Sherlock's brother. What's his name? I don't know his name. But he was like a producer. Anyway. So Capaldi's last season, they switched to Chibnall as a director, and it got not great. It was like very... It's kind of stopped having the cheesy, low-budget sci-fi charm and started taking itself a little too seriously in ways that, like, is like, oh, this alien that, like, took over the planet is actually the evil that's in all of us all along. It's like, no, why can't it just be space aliens? And it was like that for
real
everything.
Evil is the friends we made along the
and
way.
it was like, oh, well, this alien invasion isn't actually evil. There's a moral quandary. We can't face these evil aliens because they're not evil. They're just escaping their home that's been destroyed by global warming. And you're like, what? Not every villain has to be something super relatable that completely takes away from the plot.
You know, I
like,
as a writer do that shit all the time too. So I understand.
Sure, every once in a while it's nice to flip the script, but sometimes we really like a simple villain. We don't
mustache twirling villains.
Yes. Yeah, and like the Doctor's nemesis, the Master. He was like the mustache twirling kind of villain in the early series. But then he regenerated into a lady, and I actually liked her a lot. She was very fun. That actress, Michelle Gomez, awesome, love her. But then she like fell in love with the Doctor, and then they became like friends, and then he imprisoned her, and then she wasn't evil anymore. And I'm like, what happened? Like, she, like, the Master was like the written in stone from the beginning of Doctor Who time was like the mustache twirling villain that was evil for the sake of being evil, like traumatic backstory, whatever. And now they're just kind of friends, and he's locked up in a room and just plays piano and gives the Doctor advice whenever he wants to visit. Like, what happened to simple villains without moral quandaries? What the fuck? And the Chibnall era had, like, the Doctor always has, like, a companion. You know, somebody, like an audience surrogate that comes along for the ride, learns things as the audience learns them, asks all the fun questions, brings some personality, you know, like challenges the Doctor as a human would, like all that stuff. Has always had a companion, basically. The Chibnall era had 3 in a group, as a whole group, which was just a lot of characters. So Doctor Who was not about the Doctor, it was about these side characters following the Doctor around. And there was very little personality to Jodie Whittaker's Doctor at all, which was just sad. Because Jodie Whittaker's great, I loved her in Broadchurch. But she didn't have a chance to get a character because she was sharing screen time with 4 other people, all of whom are just Londonite humans who just sit there and debate the morality of aliens the entire time.
Sounds exhausting.
It is. And it's all shot with, like, lens flare 21st century digital cinema. And you're like, what happened to the cheese? There's no cheese anymore. It's just everybody being sad about how awful the world is and how we don't want to make the aliens' world any worse because humans are already bad. And it's like, guys, the Daleks are flesh suits in robots that want to kill everything just for the sake. Don't complicate them. Ugh. I have words.
The Daleks are just blood suits. They just want to murder.
They just want to murder. Their whole thing, they were introduced in Old Who. The only thing they did was with a voice modulator on, some dude in trash can was saying, exterminate. That was it. That was their whole bit. We didn't need to hear their revenge plot of, like, oh, well, actually, something about the planet we exterminated, and, like, there was a reason, and, like, no! Your whole point was to be
Trail your mustache.
was to be the black to the Doctor's white. Like, you don't need to have a moral reason for your battles. You're just dumb and you're evil. Stop. And then the Cybermen. Oh my god, the Cybermen are the same. The Cybermen were manufactured, I think, by the Daleks. Like, the Daleks landed on Earth and they're like, oh, we're gonna take over things or something. So then, I don't remember. And they started turning human people into Cybermen, and it was just like harvest their organs, turn them into robots or something. I don't know, whatever. But then I think one of the Cybermen was like aware and gay, and it was like, what? You're not supposed to be alive or aware. What do you mean? Moral complications of defeating the robots because it's gay. Since when? Since fucking when? The whole point, the whole tragedy of Cybermen was that the person inside was erased. You don't get to continue existing just so the Doctor feels guilty about killing the army. So mad. What the fuck, Chibnall? So mad. So yeah, Old Who, I don't know anything about. New Who, great up until like season 8, and then all bets are off. The cheese is gone.
You know what? I would watch an hour-long video of you explaining things the way you just did to me. Scratch that. I go 12 hours. I want to quit reviews of Doctor Who, but done by Anna. That was gorgeous.
There are very few things I get so fired up about. I forgot. You made me remember how much. I haven't watched Doctor Who in 4 years. My soul cries. All fun. I've watched quite a few video essays of people shitting on the Chibnall era. None of them get into as much of a tizzy as I just did. But if you wanted some backstory, it is out there.